All right, we are live. Well, welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, episode number 55. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those who are joining us live on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. Thank you. So, this is episode 55. And I am Charles, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, where connections matter, bringing you interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. So I want to thank those who are joining us here, and we're coming to you live out of the Metro Detroit area in Michigan. It is November and it is cold and snowy outside. We got some snow. It's cold, but we're entering into what we call the Thanksgiving season. So I'm pretty sure you have things to be thankful for. And I also want to be mindful of people. Sometimes people, this is a trying time for some people due to kind of the loss of loved ones. Some people may have lost loved ones during the COVID. And now this is the second time of the holiday coming around after that. And you may be missing loved ones or family, or friends. Just want to say my heart goes out to you and just hope you make it through this period. But just have a lot of things to be thankful for. So I'm excited this evening. We have two great guests that we're going to be interviewing and talking about the Airbnb business. Now, I looked up some information today about the Airbnb business, and I discovered that this is a billion-dollar business, multi-billion-dollar business globally. And there's some information online about just here in Michigan. According to a report on MLive, or online news organization, they said in 2021 that there was over $150 million was made in the Airbnb business here in Michigan. And there's, according to most recent report, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but they're claiming that on MLI that there's over 3,000 plus Airbnb host uh, residents or host of available Airbnb rentals here in Michigan. And for this year, $55 million have made so far. And this is back in February. And also went on the Airbnb site, the Airbnb site for Michigan. And they're claiming that in the first 3 months of 2022, that there was hosts earned over $38 million. So those are some big numbers. So we have some guests here who are going to share about the Airbnb business. Um, we're excited to welcome to the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, Nadeen and Simone. They are owners of the Airbnb here in Detroit. It's called the Inn in the North End, the Inn in the North End. And let's give them a welcome. I got to give you some air horns.
There you go. Hi, Charles.
All right. So what we first like to do before we go into what you guys do specifically with the Airbnb business. So just introduce yourself to our audience. Share a little bit about yourself, whatever you feel comfortable with. Where you grew up, where you're from, and then we'll go straight into the questions.
Sure. Michelle wants me to start first. So, my name is Simone Cowan. I'm a physician in the area. I'm a cardiologist, actually, by profession. But I was born in the islands. I was born in Jamaica, and I lived in New York for quite a while, and then I came to Michigan for residency and fellowship. And I just got really hooked in the last few years in this Airbnb business. Rochelle and I are business partners, and we started to flip and rent homes in the 2015, 2016 timeframe. We would buy a few properties a year and flip some, rent some. And then we bought our first Airbnb last year, I think. And we've renovated that one, and here we are, So it's a very exciting time, and especially during COVID, it was quite, the business was exuberant at that time. Lots of people, wanted to spend time with family and just could not. And so it was a huge time for this particular business venture. And so we decided to launch it then, and it's been doing quite well.
Yes. And my name is Nadeen Lynn. I am a retired Detroit teacher. My father was in the business. He had real estate in Detroit, party stores, arcade, deli, construction company. And I, of course, got in the business, was flipping a few houses a year as I was teaching as a teacher in Detroit Public Schools. And then after I retired in 2016 from Detroit Public Schools, I, continued to buy and flip properties in the city of Detroit and just loved it. And, ran into this great deal in the North End. The area is, I love the area, love the house, love the Airbnb. And we, went fast forward and started renovating the property and, decided that this would be the perfect opportunity and area to open an Airbnb. It's been busy. The area is great. The guests have been great. We've had a great experience, with all the guests. It's just been really a different type of business other than what we were used to doing. We were, flipping properties and decided, hey, let's go forward and launch this Airbnb. And I'm really excited about, where we've come and where we are today.
All right, that's awesome. I appreciate you guys being on the show, sharing your experience, and so and shout out to the native city of New York and Jamaica.
Yeah,
Yes.
pick up, pick up.
Okay, so let's get into it. In the last few years, definitely during the COVID, people began to have an interest in not only participating in renting Airbnbs, but also just having a curiosity of the business. And I'm definitely curious. So, what was you guys' journey into? I know you shared a little bit in your introduction. What was your first like? Hey, let me try this out. Did someone talk to you about it? You saw something on TV, or you went to an Airbnb?
Well, actually, we bought the house with plans to flip the house,
Yeah.
and we got over in the area. We always get in touch with the neighbors and people that are in the area. It's so much happening in the North End. We got over there, and as we started renovating it, we kind of quickly did a switch and flip. When we decided, hey, you know what, this is a great opportunity to, maybe switch this over and open an Airbnb. So we started doing some research. A lot of research was done on Facebook. It's so many Airbnb Facebook groups, people from all over the country. So we kind of just, got in these Airbnb groups just to see what people were doing, how they were doing it. And we,
Whether it would be a great area to launch on. It has to be an area where people are willing to visit, and I think that was a spot that was very up and coming. There were lots of people buying property in the North End at that time. Some were using it for Airbnbs, others were renting, flipping. So it was a really hot time to do it, and I think we got it right on the tail end of everything.
yes,
So,
yes, yeah, we got a great deal. And when we were as we were flipping properties, where our renovation work is a little bit different than what we kind of made some, extravagant decisions to, put some epoxy in the basement and some of the things that we probably would not do if we were just flipping the property. So the costs, kind of changed a little bit from what we traditionally would do as we would be flipping a house. We kind of, hey, we need a driveway out here. We need, a patio with, some entertainment details. I mean, some of the things that we did were a little bit, over the top, as you would say, compared to what we would normally do if we were just flipping the property. So we spent a little bit more money than we normally would spend if we were just flipping the property. But
Oh,
overall,
okay.
everything is, we're really happy with the decisions that we made, because it's, everyone's enjoying the space, and,
Okay.
only thing we don't have that we could have is a swimming pool.
So initially it started, your interest was in real estate. You had this particular property that you were going to do a fix and flip, but you decided, hey, let's try this Airbnb thing. So what was the first step in getting started as a owner slash host?
Well, I mean, I think initially, so first you have to know exactly what you want to do with the property and who you want to have come to the property. Sometimes you can have, commercial leasing on a property where you have people that have businesses that come in, fly clients in, and they stay for a week at a time or so forth. We have to know wanted to know what our clientele was, at the time. Do we want people just coming in and spending a day partying, or do we want to have a minimum stay? These are questions that you kind of have to think about before you decide, how you want to structure, how you have people come in and stay in your property. So I think what we started first initially was we went to the Airbnb app. We had a friend who was doing this in Florida,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
pretty much was pretty structured. He had started several months before and was doing quite well. His place was booked up all the time.
At Disney World.
Yeah, it was booked up all the time. And he had a structure that he used. Why reinvent the wheel when you don't have to, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
he had a way that he systematically went about going about structuring his property to have guests come in. So we used his structure. He showed us how to do it. Spent a lot of time showing us how to do it through the Airbnb app. And as I said, Airbnb has this all set up to go no matter what. You just have to be able to tweak it to your satisfaction or your liking. And then he was able to help us do that, to structure it to or tailor it to our Airbnb. And then pretty much we did it the way he instructed us to do it, and we launched it. It was slow to start, but then things picked up in the summertime, and things have been rolling since then. So
Wow. Okay.
started his structure,
Okay.
which tailored to the Airbnb app. So they've done this many times. They have a way that you can go in, you can send messages. As soon as someone books, telling them what they need to do. Send their ID or sign a contract if you have that in your stipulation that you want them to have a contract before they can book the property. You can have them sign and send it back to you. He was able to show us a way to do that through the Airbnb app. And then we have scheduled messages that we send out to our guests before they arrive. So,
Okay.
so we tell them, okay, you should have a code to get into the house because we have a keyless door entry, which is, what guests like. You don't want to have to show up and open the door for a guest, when
Right.
they, right?
Yes.
So we have a keyless door entry. So we send them a code, which is automated in another system, which is linked to our Airbnb app. And they get a notification of the code. They get a notification of confirmation once they send their contract to us and their identification, so we know this person is legit. And then, we send a series of messages through the course of the time before they arrive, telling them the rules of the house, telling them, what they need to do prior to arrival, welcoming them to our property when they do arrive. On the day of arrival, we say, welcome, if there's anything that you need, this is the person to contact, where to go, places in the area to see, where you can buy grocery, where you can do different things. So these are scheduled messages from the day you book your dates to the
Mhm.
day you arrive. So you have, at least a general idea of where to find things and what to do and who to contact when you get there. And so then once they arrive, it's easily, people don't seem to have any issues getting into the property, disarming the house, doing what they need to do. And if they need to contact us, it's easy to do it through the Airbnb app. They make it very amenable for that. And
Okay.
never had an issue, with doing it that way.
All right. You said something very interesting, which is, I think, probably a tip. You did seek out sort of like a mentor
Yeah,
who kind of guided you in the first steps. Do you think your launch would have been as successful if you just kind of winged it on your own?
probably not,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
no, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot. It's, I mean, he spent a lot of time. I mean, someone showed him, and
Oh, wow.
so it's easier when someone has already made the mistakes and
Okay.
found out what works, what does not work.
Is it easy to find a so-called Airbnb mentor or seek
I
out,
think,
you know?
with social, I mean, I think, right,
Lucky.
nowadays with, as I said, Facebook has, some Airbnb, there's so many
The groups.
Oh,
Airbnb.
Facebook groups.
Yeah,
Okay.
as
So you could
Airbnb.
join a Facebook group and then
Ab-
potentially have a conversation with someone and they can kind of give you kind of what they did,
Yeah,
sort of,
absolutely. Like I
and
said,
find some.
the Airbnb app itself is really structured to allow you to do this because they've had this
Okay.
app and their business for a very, very long time. So they worked out all the kinks. So you can, you know, tailor it to your satisfaction, but it is there. And as I said, there are Facebook groups that really do help
Oh,
people.
okay.
And then people are posting like every day, good and
Okay.
bad things that are happening at the
Are
Airbnb.
these Facebook groups public or you have to be invited or asked to join?
Yeah, invited, I
You can
think.
be invited. I mean,
But
you
it's
can
not a big deal. You just answer a couple questions.
you answer a few questions and you can join the group. I mean, it's just like any other Facebook group.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So it gives you an opportunity to see, and most of the time people are posting, you normally hear the bad. No one's, so, sometimes you hear, people say I'm discouraged because of what they hear, but it's good,
Right.
for the good and the bad because we kind of, learned a lot, not just from our mentor, but from other people that, things, what to put in there, what not to do,
Oh, okay.
as we were, putting, because you're setting it up like a hotel. So everything that you
Right.
do has to be a little bit different than your typical,
Okay.
spot,
Yes. All
hotel
right.
bed things, headboard, some of the things that,
Right.
when you think you're done, you're not.
So that's interesting. So you join the Facebook groups. You're encouraging people to do that if they want to go into this business and find a mentor. I'm curious, before even that, kind of the steps. Is it best to do you need to form a LLC or can it be a private property or what is the best structure that
Uh,
or it could be either or.
I mean, I think always the best way to, start a business. I mean, when you're buying a property and you have a lot of liability, you have to
Mhm.
set up, insurance, you have to have umbrella policies, you have to have, you don't want your property to be connected to all your personal things. So you don't, of course, never want to put in your personal name
Right.
because anything that happens would be, everything that you own would be held, would be held responsible. So of course you would want to set up a separate LLC for your business. I mean, those, things that you would do if you were, if you were in the business of renting property.
Right.
You want to have a separate
business,
entity.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the business.
Yeah.
And
It's just always better.
yeah, to
Okay.
have,
So set up a separate entity like a LLC.
yes.
Find mentors. Now, when you are trying to be approved through the Airbnb system, is there certain things or documents or things that's required to even be approved to be a host?
Yeah, I think there's a verification process. You obviously have to send a bank account, a legit bank account to them where, you're able to send all your information. You have to have, I think with Airbnb, you have to have an LLC. They're asking for a tax ID,
Okay, tax ID. Okay,
through Airbnb to do it that way. I don't know if you can use your social security number if you're a solo person doing your own
right.
thing. They definitely do ask and act. They position you as if you're a business, and so they're
Okay,
asking in order to join and all these legalese that they need, when you
okay,
do get your money and where to deposit it. So they need a bank account and they need a tax
okay.
ID to verify that you're who
So you
you
got to
say.
have a bank account. You got to be set up as a legitimate business
Yeah,
in order
exactly,
to. Okay. All
exactly.
right.
They need,
Good. That's good to know. Some people may not know. I don't know.
yeah, vet you out. They got to vet you. So that's
Okay.
so.
And then when you start submitting these documents, is there like a pending process or how long does it normally take for them to approve you?
Actually,
Immediately.
yeah, the turnaround is very quick. I mean, I think it takes a little time to verify, the account information and tax ID.
Okay.
About less than a week, actually, maybe 3 to 5 days. The
Wow.
Airbnb site. But by then, it's very quick because usually when you get your gas, your money's not deposited right away. It takes about a day
Right. That makes
through
sense. Okay.
the account. but they vet you very well, and so they make sure that you're legitimately who you say you are. So they do check these things.
Okay.
And yeah, as I said, the turnaround is less than 5 days, really,
And
maybe 3 to 5 days.
by the time you put your information and you submit and say, hey, I'm joining Airbnb, you have to be ready. Everything has to be in place.
Okay.
You're ready to
To go live.
go
Yeah,
live.
yeah,
You
you're
go
ready.
live as
Yeah.
soon as you set up your
Now, when you
account.
say be ready, you mean have your documents in order, or what do you mean?
Order as soon as you're about to go live. When you're going to put your property on Airbnb, you're going to have all this documentation ready. You're putting into the site, the system.
Okay.
And so by the time you're ready to go live, all of that documentation is in the system, And as I said, it takes a very short time for you to, once you hit the live button, you're live within hours, right? But your
Right.
document
Okay.
is not verified until a couple of days after,
Okay.
Have to submit that information in order to go live.
Okay. In order to go live, you gotta have it.
You can have a guest book immediately. I mean, as soon as you put
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
you
you're
have to
ready.
have that in place. Yeah.
gotta be
Otherwise,
ready.
you're going to run into trouble.
Right. Okay. So you got to have your documents in place. Now, if you don't mind, your mentor was in Florida, and you guys are in Michigan, in the Detroit area, and of course, he benefited from being, near vacation tourism. Um, how does that work here in Michigan? Are your guests tourism or short-term lease or just hanging out, or what do we say?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, yeah,
it's a
most
mix
of
of.
it's
yeah.
a mix. I mean, most of the guests. I don't think we have any in-state guests. They're all from out of state.
Okay.
Or they're coming down for a game, maybe, and they want to spend a weekend. People. I mean, it all depends on how you set it up. So if you want to entertain everyone in your property, you can have a short notification. We usually have, notification that allows us 3 days before the guest arrives. And then, you have a minimum stay of about 3 days. That
Okay.
allows us to vet certain clientele,
Okay.
If people want to come and party, they're never going to book our Airbnb, right? So if somebody's coming down for a game and it's going to be for a weekend, then those are our likely customers, But
Oh,
if
okay.
less of a vetting process and you're just interested in having people book your property, then you can say, the minimum stay is a day, right? And
Okay.
then people come and they have a party a day and then they leave the next day.
Right. Right.
You can kind of, cater
Right.
to whomever you want and vet whomever you want in
Okay.
the way you set up the limitations and restrictions on your property, So
Now, okay, so your place, the inn in the North End, there's a 3-day minimum stay. Is that what you're saying?
minimum stay on our place, yeah.
Oh, three. Okay, so I didn't know that. And so that means you attract certain kind of people.
Certain people, so they'll come
Yeah.
on a Wednesday, they may leave on a Saturday or Sunday. We have long
Okay.
and people that come on a Thursday and leave on a Saturday, on a Sunday.
Okay. So it's a 3. So that's a 2-night but 3-day minimum stay.
3-day
Okay.
minimum.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah.
And you're saying those who have the 1 night stay or whatever, they typically attract the partiers, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
people are coming, they hang out for one day, that's been my experience,
Oh, okay. So I wouldn't have known that. Wow. Okay.
They normally live where the Airbnb is. I mean,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, is that I don't know? Is that a good thing to do the 1-day things, or is it more headache?
I'm not going to say necessarily
Good or
if
bad.
it's good or bad,
Tell me about
because
what you want.
I know I've met people through the Airbnb's Facebook group that have they attract, and that's what they don't mind the 1-day stay, because there might be in an area like, hey, this is might be a club area, so they're coming to party, so
Right.
Right.
club area, so you expect people to book your place to party, so that might
Right.
be ideal for that type of just all. There's not really a bad or a good way to set your Airbnb, but it's just really what you want to attract, and we
Right.
just,
Right.
we
A little
tend,
bit more selective.
yeah, we
with
want to
what
be more
want to do. Yeah.
selective,
Right.
and what we attract, because we're 6 minutes from downtown, and
Okay.
coming from out of state, they're coming always for games and
Okay. That's great.
music festivals and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So normally, they tend, if you're going to fly to Michigan,
Yeah.
you tend to
You
not,
wanna
you're not going to
stay for a
stay,
while.
you're not going to stay for one night. So
Right.
for
That's a
3
good setup. That's good advice. Um, What are some of the, I guess, the hidden costs? Like I can't imagine. How do you guys do your cleanup and setup, your turnaround per guest? Do you hire a company, or you do it yourself, or did you give a discount if the people who stay there, do they clean up? I don't know.
We do have a cleaning fee because you know, we've got to we do most of the cleaning ourselves. You know, we
Oh
can't do
wow.
people take care of, but we do most of
Yeah.
the cleaning. We have a standard about how we want the place to be cleaned. So we go in there. If we do have a cleaning crew, we're going in there initially with them to show them exactly how we want them
Okay. Okay.
out. You
How
know,
you want it done? Okay.
but initially when we started, you know, for sure we were doing everything ourselves because we wanted to see what it was like to clean when a guest leaves, first of all, and we have standards as to how we want the place cleaned, you know, when a guest leaves. Whenever a guest comes back, you know, they never have to question anything about cleanliness in that Airbnb. It's always clean. You know, I'm a physician, so I got like really there's
High
sterile
standards.
used here. He's very
Okay.
real funny when it comes to some of that stuff, you know. So yeah,
Okay.
that's important to us. It's got to.
Now,
And you know, and you have to, you know, your ratings is based. I mean, if you ever hear or see, you know, bad ratings, is normally based on the cleanliness of the Airbnb. So
Yeah.
that is very, you know, crucial to have, you know, these things set up when you start and open an Airbnb, unless you plan, you know, to do it yourself. I mean, it takes a lot of time, you know, to clean the Airbnb. It's not.
yeah.
Oh, this is like we're talking about, you know, what,
6 hours. Yeah, when we first did it, it was like 6 hours.
6 hours.
Wow.
We
Wow.
cleaned that because we were so meticulous, you know, and on average it takes us about 4 hours.
4 hours at
to
least.
do
I mean,
it, you know.
six, you know, and that's just, you know, not really a mess. You know, you just, you know, really just making sure that, you know, things are, you know, left the way that you would expect it if you went somewhere. You know, you just want to make sure there's no doubt that, you know, you're not going to see a spider web.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Right.
just make sure everything is,
And we're all following COVID protocols, so we're cleaning down.
Wow.
So we're, you know, we're going over things and we're making
So that has to be factored in the business plan. How you going to do your turnaround, the cleaning?
always, especially nowadays, you know, with COVID, it's really important that you make
Okay.
sure you're telling people that it's COVID friendly and, you know, we've done what we needed to do. So we've got to make sure that that happens. And
Now, a friend of the show and a friend of you guys, Kalima Johnson, she made a comment, says, hey friends. So she's giving you guys a shout out.
Kalima.
All right. So now so I noticed you said you have the keyless entry. Does the code change every time you have a
Yes.
guest?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Have a
That's good.
code that's generated through a third party that our friend helped us set up. Ernest Wheeler, shout out to Ernest Wheeler.
Yes. Ernest, my boy.
This is really Rochelle's friend and friend by, you know, association.
Okay.
But yeah, Ernest has become a good friend too. But yeah, it's through a third party and the code changes. It's just temporary for the time frame that the guest is at the house.
Wow.
That changes every time automatically.
And we have
For
it,
each
you know,
guest.
have it generated through the alarm app as well, so they're able to arm and disarm the house.
Yeah.
With that
Wow.
code.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's-
Keyless entry, Army. Now, far as marketing and getting guests, does Airbnb assist you with that? Do you go to these Facebook groups and get ideas? You have a mentor? How does that work?
you know, really, to be honest, I mean, we, of course, our friends and family know about the Airbnb, you know, but most of our guests have been through the Airbnb app, total, you know, strangers, people that we don't know, because they just, you know, they're looking in the area,
Mm-hmm.
they look at the attractive pictures that they see, and
Okay.
they base it on, you know, location and,
Mhm.
you know, looking at the pictures and what they see.
Okay.
We really have had a really great success.
I think you shared some key things there. So, of course, location. You're close
Yeah.
to downtown,
Mhm.
and you guys took some quality pictures. Is that helps?
Yeah, we did it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we took our own pictures and yeah, it's just got to be really good pictures, good angles, all that stuff, you know, bright.
She's the photographer.
Yeah, it's got to be you have to take quality pictures, you know, you got to showcase
Right.
really have to showcase your space. So
Right.
that's all people see. And so, once you have a guest, you get a rating, and your interest level goes up on the Airbnb site. And so,
Right. Right.
change your pictures and rotate your pictures. You're brought to the top of the search engine every single time.
Oh,
So
okay.
stay on top
So
of that.
okay.
Make
So
people can see you.
right, right. So if you get good ratings, you put in new pictures.
Yeah,
So
yep,
the Airbnb algorithm puts you guys
absolutely.
at
Yeah.
the top when somebody's saying, "Hey,
Ab-
I'm looking for Airbnb in Detroit, Michigan." You guys will be in the top.
We're in the top. We're in the top search.
Okay.
We're in the top searches.
How do
So
you I mean, not to say you got to manipulate your guests, but how do you facilitate good ratings?
we keep reminding them. We remind them. We'd encourage them to write a review at the end of each stay. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. You know how that is when people leave the property and they're gone home. They never remember. So we make sure on the day of. That's part of the algorithm we use to when we do
Right, right, right.
pre-scheduled messages and all of that, to make sure reminding them before they leave. We would really appreciate you send in a response or giving us a good rating, and we'll reciprocate something like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
remind them to do that.
Now, when did you guys go live with your property on the north end and the end in the north end?
Memorial weekend.
It was Memorial Weekend. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that was recently in May.
Yeah,
Yep.
in May.
Wow,
Yeah.
you guys sound like veterans. So I thought maybe it was a year. Wow.
This thing, man.
Wow, that's awesome. So May of this year, and is there a percentage of your occupancy rate, or how has that been so far?
It's been great. I mean,
Yeah.
we normally would have, we kind of just look at the fact that on a typical 3-bedroom rental, if we do better than what our projected rent amount is per month, I mean, you figure you're just going to, of course, it's going to average a weekend, which you would normally get in a 30-day time period for a 3-bedroom rental. So we've exceeded that, 10 times over per month.
Mhm. Okay.
So
Yeah, we are in the slow season now. That's no question about that. So
But
it's
we're
a little
still
bit slower, but we're still getting booked. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
we're
still getting booked. So
we average in the slow season at least 2-3 bookings a month,
yeah,
and that's
Wow,
in the
that's great.
yeah.
yeah,
This is
So
the slow season. Was it just because of Michigan or?
yeah. It's all over.
Oh, all over. Okay, during the holidays. Okay. And you
Yeah,
guys pick back up in the spring or?
yeah. We pick back
well,
up
we
around
probably it could be like Christmas,
January. Yeah, I
January,
think
New Year's
January.
Eve.
Okay.
Yeah, time. Yeah, New
Yeah.
Year's Eve, where people come out. They want to chill out and hang out for a little bit. Different
Okay.
places. Yeah.
So for those who are watching, what would you say is I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot. What would be the 5 tips you would give someone who's considering opening up an Airbnb?
Location.
Location is key.
You really got
Location.
where you're going to put your Airbnb. Make sure there's interest there. Make sure there's things for people to do. So location is important. Do your
Location. Okay.
Yeah. Do your homework and find a mentor.
Find a
Yeah.
mentor. Okay.
Yeah. If that's an Airbnb group that you look at, yeah. If there's someone specifically that you have, then
Okay.
find someone to help you with the process initially.
Yeah, you have to make decisions on, as you said, location is the key. But if you're starting out with a property from scratch, as we did,
Wow.
we're buying it. You have to, you're looking at a whole nother elephant when you're talking about rehab and rehab cost and those things. If you're starting from the bottom to the top, but I
Right.
guess if you're just starting out where you already have the property and it's already done and renovated, then that's easy because
Right. Right.
you're already the decision would have to be is this the location where people would want to book and stay here? Is it worth it? Because you still
Okay.
have to pay, insurance, taxes, and
Right. Right. Right.
have bills on this property as if you have to really think about all those costs, and if are you going to be able to
Right.
meet those costs and pay those costs with the money that the revenue that you make from the
Okay.
Airbnb.
All right. All right. So I would say definitely you want to get your paperwork in order, have a business set up, your business structure, have a bank account, your EIN number, your tax ID number. You want to find a mentor. If you have a team, like you guys work together, so that's good. Find a team. Think about all the costs that nobody talk about: marketing, cleaning costs, all that
Yeah.
stuff. And the
Yeah.
most important thing is location. And
Yeah.
that's a good segue to you guys' location. We're going to show in a few minutes the video of your Airbnb so that people may be interested who watch this video, interested in staying with you guys. Anything you want to share before we go to the video? What's special about you guys' Airbnb?
It's I mean, listen, this North End, I never knew how great this area was until we scoped out the area, found this wonderful place, renovated it. This is up and coming area here. It's close to Woodward, the Q line, the stadiums downtown. Come check us out, really, big time.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to show a video, and you guys gave me a tour. It is a fabulous place. I plan to stay and use it at some point. I'm thinking about something to do. And so you guys are in for a treat. So check out this video.
Yay.
Welcome to our Airbnb in the North End.
This is our lovely Airbnb. This is about 1,300 square feet, the home alone. 1,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. We kind of renovated this house in May of 2022, and those were the old pictures of what the house used to look like.
Welcome to our beautiful chaos. It was very, very chaotic.
It looked like 2 different homes at the time, but yeah, that was the state of it before we did our.
As you can see, the back of the house is blue, and the front of the house was green. So we did a lot of lots of work.
Yeah, we kept some of the old character of the house, which is what we always do when we do renovations. We kind of modernize it a little bit, but yeah, you can see that there's some old elements, details to the house. But yeah, that's what we do here. I can walk you through and show you around.
This house had a lot of damage. We're real estate investors. I'm a retired teacher. Simone is a cardiologist, and we're business partners. And we kind of came into this house. Wasn't really the plan to buy in this area, but we saw the potential of the area, and we kind of fell in love with the area. Fell in love with the house actually as well. But when we got in here, it was a whole other story. lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. I mean, it's a total rehab.
Yeah, total rehab. Yeah.
New plumbing, all new electrical. I mean, we did it all. We opened this wall up. As you walk into this area here, there was some fire damage here on the floor. We wanted to save as much as we could with what we have.
Hardwood and all that. We wanted to keep that, keep the character of the house. So we did the best we could to sand and stain it and keep the old hardwood floors.
So we put new windows. All the windows are replaced. Everything is brand new. Lots of plastering. Lots of everything. We actually jacked the house up. We kind of got into the renovation and realized that the house needed to be jacked up. As you come into the kitchen here, this was a wall here. We decided to open this up. That's when we discovered that the ductwork here, as we ran the duct, well, actually we opened this wall up, and then we discovered, we were trying to figure out what the smell about was. And
right, and there was some smell in the house. Yeah, I mean, there's always something, something interesting in these old homes, and so we found dead animals and
it was dead animals and ductwork.
All different flavors of animals.
The owner, he was in a situation, and we were able to rescue him out of the situation to our benefit.
Yeah, right. So as I said, this was all closed off in some of these old homes. You kind of want to open things up. That's the new idea of trying to create a continuity between the dining, living, and kitchen area. And so this was the best we could do without destroying the character of the house. So we created this little window here so you can see from the dining area into the kitchen. Completely revamped the kitchen because this wasn't really a kitchen.
This was actually what was this right here?
It's a window. It had a window there. I don't know what we stored there, but yeah, we closed it off and created a little bit of a pantry.
Yeah. kitchen. And you know,
we didn't really have a kitchen. I mean, this was just an open space, and you had a little sink in here, this area here. So we just made it functional as much as we could. Obviously, there's not a lot of room to work with, but I think this is a really functional kitchen for an Airbnb. You know,
we didn't have much. Like I said, you know, this was not a kitchen. We had one. This guy had one cabinet here. There was not even any cabinets. We didn't even realize it was a kitchen until we saw the plumbing. We're proud native Detroiters, as you can see. Lots of damage. This was a work in progress back here. We had a tree that took up this entire yard, so we had to take the tree up. And it was actually a garage back here. It was not a garage back there. It was a
remnants of an old garage.
Remnants of an old garage.
Yeah, all the concrete and stuff. And so, you know, you told me you bought the lot next to it.
There's a lot. There was a lot here for. Bought it from the land bank for $100. And
yeah.
We had to really do a lot of work here. There was no grass here. This was a total wreck.
Yeah. This was her baby. She planted the seeds and all that stuff, and this is all natural grass. And, you know, she really worked on this one.
Yeah, I did. This was hard-earned, some serious labor back here. So we took up it was some concrete back here. We took it up and wanted to, you know, create a space, you know, for some entertainment purposes.
Have a little fire pit underneath here, you know, and that they can just sit around and enjoy these cooler fall weather time.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Got our fire pit here.
Got our little pergola here. Everybody can congregate and just enjoy the space. We get in the summertime, these guys would come and they would play badminton on the court, so they had a really good time here to sit outside. I think this is the most favorite part of the house for most people. They're telling us that the backyard is really the gem.
When we bought this property, we walked into a pit of sewer water in this basement.
Yeah, it was moldy and everything.
You could not even, I mean, I literally walked down here and had to hold we couldn't even get past the step. It was so much mold and mildew.
Yeah. So it's an open space, obviously, furnace in the center here, boiler, all this kind of stuff. So we kind of cordoned it off a little bit, so it created a nice little flow coming off the steps. You have the lounge area here. You can just sit and play games, chill out. You know,
You got the foosball here. You can play your foosball. It was only 1 inch of concrete in this space here on the floor, so we had to break this window open here to you know, let in concrete, level this floor to bring it up to code and bring the concrete to like a 3-4 inch level, because it was so broken up. It was unbelievable. So we kind of, you know, epoxy the floor, put our
little decorative panel wall here, you know, drywall, the rest of the stuff.
The entire basement was drywall.
Yeah, and then created a new bathroom out of virtually nothing, really.
It was nothing here. Kind of create our plumbing.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got such a you know, big space out of what was there, because it really wasn't much. So we were able to create something out of nothing virtually.
We took this was actually, the sink was turned that way, and this direction, and we realized that we couldn't.
The lip here, we made so many adjustments in this, because we had a lip up here on the ceiling, and the sink was turned this way, and it was difficult, you know, to have someone kind of maneuver this kind of thing. So we had to switch the orientation of the sink, and instead of having a mirror on this wall, we had a mirror on this wall, and you know, we had all the amenities that they need here to wash and all that. The shower is, you know, created this shower.
Got our
here.
Natural light there. There's a glass block window back there as well, and we just kind of made this into a
functional bathroom. Yeah, keep the hardwood floors as much as possible. Maintain some of the character of the old house. You know,
we took out all the baseboards.
Yeah.
And wanted this nice flow of these larger, higher baseboards that are pretty popular right now.
So this is the smaller room of the 3, but pretty comfortable, very basic, you know, someplace to lay your head kind of thing. We had these headboards specially made. There are some of these artists from Canada, you know, who make this out of copper and steel and different elements, and so just wanted to add a little bit of dimension and character to to the room. So something different. It's a little interesting.
Put our recessed lights up.
Yep. Always have a little chandelier at the front and the top of the stairs. That's our little touch. Every home we renovate always has a little something there. This is one of the bigger bedrooms here. Private closet. Again, unusual headboard.
Yeah, the headboards
special made.
I love those headboards. And then we have hotel beds that have sturdy and with our nice headboards. I love so much. And then you go into this, you got your storage closet there with our
Towels, iron board, hair dryer, and extra towels and bags and washcloths. And then another decent sized bedroom here. Just basic, but very comfortable.
This was a lot of
Interesting, yeah. We had it was a cast iron tub kind of thing here.
cast iron tub
Yeah.
here.
Virtually the plumbing was a wreck, so we had to reconstruct everything and created this nice waterfall shower, which just have a nice serenity to the bathroom. So,
But
we did floating shelves instead of stocking it up with typical vanities. We did a floating vanity, LED mirror. Just give it a little bit more room to the or openness to the room. And I thought it came out pretty well.
And we have your music is at that.
Yeah, so the fan is like a Bluetooth enabled device, and there's colors on the lights as well. Create the mood in the bathroom. I don't know how much of a mood you would need in the bathroom, but to each his own.
We're doing pretty well with the size and the
We
what
try
we
to
have.
modernize things a little bit. We have like a Nest device, temperature control. Try to keep things simple for our guests.
central air,
Yeah.
internet services.
Streaming device, television, and a nice table for them to congregate on. So,
In closing, how do people get in touch? How do they find out about you?
The website.
yeah, so we can go onto Airbnb, and there is a link that we can send to those guys through Airbnb and the website itself, and then they can get in touch with us. We have business cards. We go to different events and we pass out those cards to people. So it's called the Inn in the North End on Airbnb. The Inn in the North End.
All right, so it was 10 minutes. I thought everything we showed, we captured. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I hope that when people see the replay or who are watching live can get an idea. The work that you guys and the labor of love it shows.
Proud of that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, yeah. So, go ahead. Oh, okay. I was going to say, all right, so we want to just to really promote you guys and what you're doing and to celebrate your contributions you're doing with your business here in the city. So when they go to Airbnb to see that beautiful place and to book it, they just go to the inn in the North End. That's all
Yeah.
they have to type in the search bar.
Yeah, that is the link on the Airbnb site. I'm not sure how it shows up if you type that in, but it's called Stunning Home in Detroit.
Oh, Stunning Home in Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Detroit, yeah, Stunning Home in Detroit. They'll see it there. If they go
Okay.
on the site, they're looking for an Airbnb property downtown. I'm sure it will come up in the first top 20 searches that you would see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stunning Home in Detroit is probably the title that you would see initially. And
Stunning
then,
Home in Detroit. Okay.
yeah, and then just look for the Inn in the North End.
Now, what's the capacity for your place?
So, we can sleep comfortably 6 people, but we can hold, obviously, 15 people there,
Okay.
that space, but ideally it will sleep 6 people.
Sleep 6 people.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to hold a function, I know there's certain rules with Airbnb. And
Yeah,
we talked about that before. How does that work?
Yeah, typically for us, with the size that we have, I know we have a big backyard there. With the size that we have, it all depends on how many people you want congregating in your property and based on the size. So for us, no more than 18 people in that house.
18. Okay.
Yeah, comfortably sleeping 6 people in that house at one time. But
Sleep
no more
6. Okay.
sleep 6 comfortably, but no more than 18 congregating at one time.
So if you had a small gathering, like a small birthday party or something, they were there for the 3 days, of course.
Yep.
They can have a function like in the backyard with 18 people or less. Is that what you're
Eight-
saying?
18 people or less can come to the home and congregate, but only 6 can be at the home sleeping in that facility
Okay,
over.
sleeping. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. These are good things to know.
Yeah.
Because it's become a popular thing where people are trying to get the Airbnbs and have these big old parties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's the rules now, what's going on. And I think so you guys can educate us because
Yeah.
when initially looking at your property and I saw that big backyard, I said, man, I can have a party of 50 people
Yeah. And
congregating.
yeah, you can specify what you want. I think Airbnb is cracking down now on the number of parties and the allowance of parties in these properties because people have lost their minds and have gone crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff, you know. Yeah. So we're cracking down on that. We don't allow huge parties in our facility in our property. That's part of our rules. You know, you can put that in your rules and regulations.
Okay.
If
Okay.
people look at your webpage and they see what's allowed and what's not
Right.
allowed.
Right.
And we also send that in part of our scheduled messages that, we don't allow pets and we don't allow large parties and big, no, this is a
Oh,
resident area, you know?
no
So,
pets. No pets. I didn't think about that.
so noise level is important. We have neighbors and we don't
Okay.
allow pets and we don't allow large parties for that
No
reason.
large
We
one. Okay.
respect our community and the people that live and our neighbors.
As we wrap things up, how do you guys handle Privacy. I know there's been some concern, pushback on the cameras and things like that. How do you guys deal with in your place regarding the privacy?
You mean privacy is
Yeah, we have cameras in our property. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, you don't want to
inside.
have cameras inside the home, but we have cameras on the outside of our property. I mean, we're
Okay.
still, right? We have to make sure that our guests are safe
Right.
and
Right.
property is safe. And so we have cameras outside the home, and we make that very open to
Mhm.
our guests. You know, it's in our policy when you book
Okay.
the property, it is there. We list how many cameras we have and where they are. In terms of the privacy for our guests, I mean, we have a fenced-in backyard. You know, whatever they want to do back there is up to them, and we're not sitting there looking at them doing things. You know, so it's fenced in for their privacy, whatever they want to do and how they want to entertain themselves. You know, that's up to them. But
Okay.
have cameras to protect the home and to protect them in the interim and their stuff in the home. So that's important that we make that clear to them when they book the property. It's not a secret. You know, we make that very
Okay.
clear.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, that's great. Um, as we wrap things up, any thing you want to share that makes you guys your business and how you handle your guests that's distinct to your brand?
Well, I mean, listen, we are hands-on, with our property. We clean our property so we know what standards we have standards, as to how we go about doing that. And so if we can stay in that property and sleep there and feel comfortable there, then it's good enough we feel it's good enough for our clientele. And so this is our labor of love. This is our baby. We're very proud of this home. This is our home. People that we invite into our home are our guests, and we want to treat them as our guests. And so we take every opportunity to do that, to make them feel comfortable there.
Yes.
And they are always in touch, just a couple of words away on the Airbnb app. They
Okay.
can at any time if they need anything. So we make a
All
point
right.
sure that they get whatever they need.
Awesome. That's great. I know you guys only been in about 5 to 6 months. Are people able to reach out to you guys if they have questions? Maybe in the area, people viewing this video, they may have some, hey, I'm interested in getting started. Are they able to? You
Sure.
guys appear to be veterans, but you're 6 months in.
We learn every day, Charles.
Yeah.
We're learning every day. It's
Okay.
no matter what. So we
Yeah.
learn every day. Yeah. I mean,
People inbox me on
Yeah,
Facebook
inbox
all
All
the time.
right. So Nadine, somebody can reach out to you at Facebook. Do you want to share your Facebook contact or
Nadine Lynn on
Nadine
Facebook.
Lynn? Okay. All right. All
Yep.
right. So they can reach out to Nadine. So folks watching this,
Yep. I
Nadine
always,
Lynn on Facebook. If you're interested, she's a real estate pro investing. So if you may be interested in real estate or buying, selling property or doing the Airbnb, you can reach out to her. What's the best way we can be of support of you, Detroiters, those who are watching?
Come check out the Airbnb.
All right.
Come check it out. Come roam
Okay.
around the area. Yeah,
Oh.
check out our listing on the Airbnb site.
All right, all right. So that
We're
wraps up our show for today. We want to thank Nadeen and Simone for their time. We want to thank you guys for sharing about a little bit about the Airbnb business and your journey. We appreciate you. This show is about celebrating the contributions of Detroiters and what they're doing, celebrating you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm definitely looking forward to staying there, planning something there for a 3-day stay.
Hey, yeah.
And yes, yes. So I want to encourage everybody who's watching this live or on the replay on our YouTube or Facebook outlets at Detroit Metro Plug Podcast to support if you're thinking about doing something, or if you have family coming in town, somebody or friends, or you got people from an organization coming in town, or you guys are hosting. We host a lot of conferences and people are coming out of town. Check out the Airbnb.
Please do. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
Lovely to have you here and just enjoy your city and get to know you, some new people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. All right, so that wraps up our podcast for today. Happy holidays. Everybody enjoy their Thanksgiving. Be safe. Again, bringing you interviews. I'm slowing down the holiday, kind of taking a little break. I do have one more guest coming up next couple of weeks, but I'm looking forward to bringing you guys great interviews, content, doing some more stuff in 2023. So have a good night.